All right, Shalom. First, I can start by saying all praise to Yahweh Bashim Shai, Bashim Kakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. This is just a little bit more information on what's going on with these forest fires. So, I'm going to play on the clip and then add some precepts.
Europe is in the grip of a fierce heat wave, with many countries across the continent experiencing record temperatures. Wildfires are burning in different parts of the continent, including in France, Spain, Italy, Portugal, Croatia and Greece. They're also burning in Morocco, in North Africa. In France, the authorities are warning of a heat apocalypse. We know many towns and cities have recorded their highest ever temperatures. The city of Nantes recorded 42 degrees Celsius, beating a previous high of 40.3 degrees set more than 70 years ago. And the town of Saint-Brieuc on the north coast reached 39.5 degrees Celsius. The previous record was 38.1, dating back to 1949. Well, this was the scene overnight in the Gironde region on the French Atlantic coast. You can see the scale of the fires that are burning through some of the forest there. Then this is drone footage from earlier, again showing us the scale of what's happening. And this is the satellite image that shows the region. You can see smoke is clearly visible from space. We know thousands of firefighters are now battling these fires, and more than 14,000 hectares of forest have already been damaged. As well as that, over 20,000 people have been evacuated, and that figure is expected to rise. Let's hear from one of them.
It was very smoky this morning. It's very bad for the lungs. I knew there were problems coming, so I prepared a grab bag. Even the medications for my dogs were ready to go.
Well, this is the National Director of Fire and Rescue Services in France.
We need a lot of water to extinguish fires that, for example, in the area of Bordeaux are more than 30 meters high. So it's very difficult even just for one tree, and you cannot put one fire truck for one tree. It's impossible.
Well, next let's hear from our Europe correspondent, Jessica Parker, who's in southwest France.
There has been obviously temperatures soaring today, peaking over 40 degrees here while these wildfires continue. That, by the way, is a local evacuation centre. And we were here a couple of days ago when the air was clear. But today you can smell, you can taste the smoke as those wildfires continue to rage. The winds around here have been described as unstable and the fire spreading. We've just heard in the last hour that a further 5,000 people are set to be evacuated from the local area. Some of them will be coming straight here, and what the authorities are saying, it's because of the smoke, not because those villages or towns are at threat of the fire itself, but it's the smoke and the health risks around that. Further inland, another blaze in the area of Landiras. There are further evacuations there as well.
That's Jessica in southwest France. Next, let's turn to neighbouring Spain, because wildfires there have been burning in the hills of Mijas, near the city of Malaga, which is in the southwest. Firefighters have managed to get those under control, but you can see the extent of the damage from this satellite image. The area is close to beach resorts on the Costa del Sol, and our correspondent Bethany Bell is there.
The fire swept down this hillside, and you can see the destruction that's been left behind. There's still a strong smell of burnt wood in the air, and ash is flying around. The authorities have managed to control the fires that were burning in this region near Mijas, just outside of Malaga, and the people who were evacuated from their homes have now been able to return.
Let's switch from the southwest of Spain to the northwest, where officials in the Zamora province say 20 wildfires are burning out of control and threatening houses and threatening people's livelihoods. Now, this is footage posted on social media from inside a train in the Zamora province. You can see wildfires burning on both sides of the train. Well, here's a resident describing the situation there.
People are really angry, but they are also very, very scared for their lives. And not only because of the fire that is going now, but because everything is destroyed, animals and the harvest. So the fire is really bad right now, but the winter is going to be really, really hard. A lot of people won't have anything to eat. And it's just very, very, very sad to see that.
And on the situation in Spain, let's hear once more from our correspondent Bethany Bell.
In the northwestern area of Zamora, 2 people are known to have died. One was a fireman who died last night, And Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said on Twitter that he extended his condolences to the family, and he also thanked everybody who was fighting the fires in these difficult conditions. The second death was a shepherd who died, and apparently because he had ignored warnings to go out into the burnt areas, and his body has now been found.
We've heard from Spain, we've heard from France. Next we turn to Portugal, where temperatures have dropped over the weekend, but more than 1,000 firefighters are still battling 9 fires in the central and northern regions. Let's speak to Alison Roberts, who's live with us from Lisbon. Alison, first of all, bring us right up to date on those fires and their scale, please.
Yes, as you say, temperatures have dropped, but most of Portugal is still under extreme and very high fire risk. 6 fires currently are of most concern. And we're just getting reports, I'm sorry to say, of 2 people who have died while trying to flee the flames. That was in Vila Real district in the north of Portugal. According to local reports, it was an elderly couple who were scared because of the flames and started to try to flee, and they went off the road. So that's all the details we have, not confirmed as yet, but that's what we're hearing from local reports, speaking to local.
All right, and as you can see, that's the judgment of Yahweh Shema Shai. They said the fires is burning up the food, but people ain't gonna be having nothing to eat. Burning up the wine lands. So yeah, man, it's part of the judgment. Which one was it?
We have to tell everyone that we just switched to Verizon's new Welcome Unlimited plan for just $30.
I've already told everyone.
$30? That's awesome.
It's their best unlimited price ever.
For $30 a line, I'm switching now.
The network you want, the price you love, only from Verizon.
With the country in the grips of an unrelenting heat wave, a staggering 219 million Americans bracing for temperatures above 90.
This is the hottest summer that I've seen in Dallas, really that I remember since 1980.
It may be time for people to start adjusting their expectations.
No one is escaping the heat underneath this big, giant heat dome.
As 44 million people, or more than double the population of Florida, will face triple digits.
Feels like a furnace.
Many just trying to cope, seeking a shady spot or a place to take a cool dip.
And my kids just laid down. They just melted. They were done.
Hydration is the name of the game at this Oklahoma summer camp.
Make sure the first thing you do is fill those water bottles.
And in Texas,
how's the AC working?
Dallas police officers checking on elderly residents who, along with children, are most vulnerable to heat-related illness. Blazes breaking out across the Lone Star State, forcing evacuations to nearly 300 homes in this North Texas community. At the same time, the heat ironically causing water to burst from pipes as infrastructure buckled.
We know the water will be off for several hours, so we'll just capture all the water and fill the bathtub up.
The state's power grid is also being watched closely. ERCOT didn't have to issue calls for conservation on this record 109-degree day, but it did last week to avoid straining the system. It comes amid power concerns across the country. Yesterday, a transformer caught fire at the Hoover Dam, which supplies power to over 1 million in the West. But authorities say the fire was put out with no risk to the grid. Climatologists warning heat waves this brutal are just the beginning.
We should stop thinking about global warming as something in the distant future.
A scorching reality for many.
In a speech later today, looking at this with a longer lens, President Biden expected to discuss executive action he'll be unveiling in the absence, guys, of congressional action. And that includes trying to protect communities that are facing extreme conditions, especially those that are low income. He will also be talking about heat energy alternatives in that speech. Hold it back to you.
All right, Sam Brockforce there in Dallas. Sam, thank you.
All right. All right, this second Ezra chapter 8, verse 50, it says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the later time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." Right, man. And as you can see, this is misery unto these people, man, because they walked in great pride, man. The world is proud and full of wickedness. You know, and America being the number one promoter of the wickedness, which one part of it is democracy, man. And I just got through watching a little earlier this clip on I think it was the French president, and his thing was basically, I think it was the French president. I wish I would have found it. Hold on, Slocky, let me see.